Your lesson essential question is, what strategies do we know to help us solve 1 and 2-step word problems? So you are going to be solving 1 and 2-step word problems, which is something you have done before, and you're going to be using the different strategies that you've learned. So you've learned about compensation, open number lines, you've learned about the hundreds chart. There's lots of strategies in your toolbox. Now it's time for you to apply those strategies and use them to solve word problems. Some of these word problems are going to have 1 step, some will have 2 steps, so you really need to pay attention at what the problem is asking you to do. I have this word problem. Matt has 8 game cards. He wins 7 more cards. Then he gives Jose 4 cards. How many cards does Matt have now? Take a second and decide, what is this problem asking us to find? All right, this problem is asking us to find how many cards Matt has now. All right, we know how many he started with. We need to figure out how many he ends with. What information is going to help us solve this? You probably said that he has 8. He wins 7 more. Then he gives Jose 4. I'd like to point out some specific words in this problem that tell us if we need to add or subtract. So I'm seeing that he wins 7 more. The word more, as you might remember from our last chapter, tells us that we need to add. Then he gives Jose 4. So if he gives them to someone, we're taking them away. So this word gives tells me that I need to subtract. I've dissected this problem and I'm seeing that I need to add and then I need to subtract. So we are doing 2 steps in this problem. First we're adding, then we're subtracting. So we know that Matt is starting with 8 and then he gets 7 more. That tells me that I need to add 8 plus 7. We need to find the number of cards after he wins 7. Looking at this model down here, we know that the greatest number goes on top. In an addition problem, the greatest number is our sum or our answer. So we don't know that number yet. I know that my add-ins go down on the bottom, 8 and 7. What is 8 plus 7? Eight plus 7 is 15. So after Matt wins 7, he has 15. We aren't done yet though. Matt then gives 4 cards to Jose. So he has 15. He's giving away 4. So he's starting with 15 and we're taking 4 away. We need to figure out how many he has left. In a subtraction problem, the greatest number is always the first number that we start with because then we take some away. We know that in an area model like this, our greatest number goes on top. So we're starting with 15 and we're taking 4 away. Can you solve 15 minus 4? I know that to make a 10, I would have to take away 5. If I took away 5, that's one too many. So I know that I have one more than 10, which is 11. So how many cards does Matt have now? Matt has 11 cards. It's very important that we're paying attention when we're reading math problems like this and dissecting word problems, because we need to, 1, figure out what the problem is asking us to find. 2, we need to find that important information that will help us solve it. We need to make sure we know if we are doing 1 step or 2 steps, and we also need to make sure we know those addition and subtraction keywords, because it's important that we're doing the right operation.